Studio B here to engage, enlighten, and entertain. It is Playoff Central Live, along with Q Rich, a.k.a. Quentin Richardson, Chicago's finest, the Hall of Famer and two-time champion Isaiah Thomas. We just witnessed the Denver Nuggets make short work of the Portland Trailblazers. A lot of turnovers. The Joker comes up big in this one. Zeke, first word from you, your immediate response from seeing the Denver Nuggets advance to the second round.
You know, at the start, you asked who did we think would win, and I picked Denver to win this game. And the reason why is I just thought that offensively they were playing so well. I didn't think Portland could rise to the level of defense that you needed to win in this game tonight. And when you look at the numbers, I mean, Portland come in, they shoot 51% from the field, 44 from the three-point line, 85 from the free throw line. So you're talking about that kind of offensive efficiency at home when you're trying not to lose and everything is on the line. I just don't think Portland's defense showed up tonight.
Defensively, we know that they haven't been great all season long. The last rated defense in the NBA during the regular season. However, a couple of things we were talking about, or I overheard you two talking about off camera, Quentin, you go to Denver, you expend all that energy. We know Dame had that huge game. However, when you come back just a couple of days later, that energy is not going to be the same, especially when it comes time, late in game situations, trying to knock down those jumpers.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about, that we expected, or we knew that Dame was going to need a lot of assistance and a lot of help from his teammates because, like Z said, you know, he's a smaller guard, jump shooting guard, playing heavy minutes, and then hoisting up 12 of 17 threes, scoring 55 points and carrying that type of load. Coming back the next game, he needs that help and that assistance. And like you said, he needed it for the defense, and he needed some more offensive punch, and he didn't really get enough today.
And one thing I want to speak about is a point guard that wore number 11 for the Denver Nuggets. Monte Morris comes in. Zeke, you obviously know all about that number 11 in that point guard position. He was the X factor coming in. You know, we saw the runs. It was a 26-8 run in the second half, and then to close the game, they ended on a 23-9 run. Just talk about Monte and his performance coming off the bench, giving you 22 and 9.
I thought he was big, especially in the crucial parts of the game. When Jokic was out, and they needed scoring, he was able to knock down some crucial shots, two crucial ones, a three-point shot, and then he had one from the top of the key. Those 5 points I thought gave Denver like some really comfort in terms of their offensive push, and it just kind of opened up the game from there. I thought he was the key, though, in that little stretch.
He definitely was the key. Early on, the talk was about Michael Porter Jr. Didn't necessarily have the greatest second half, ended up going 0 for, but he came out strong. 22 points in the first quarter, set an NBA record with knocking down 6 three-pointers. Q, what was your assessment on his performance?
Steadily improving, man. He's a young star in the making. This kid can shoot, like really can shoot the ball. And I think what he did in that first quarter, he kept them in play and on pace to stay in this game, because had he not had that game, Portland could have made it a little more distance between them, and who knows what happens. But this kid came out and he made his impression felt right away.
Definitely made his impression felt. But for a second, the Denver Nuggets, while we are impressed with their victory, I got to chop it up about the Portland Trailblazers one time, because we know that this team, every single year, we know how hard they have to play towards the end of the season to somewhat tread water or maybe sneak into the playoffs. Zeke, your assessment on Portland overall as an organization, and what's the next step for this Portland Trailblazers team?
You know, I said this at the start of the season about Portland. Over the last 4 to 5 years, they kind of been stuck in this one position. And I felt that they needed something to kind of jolt them out, whether it was some type of change of personnel or coaching, but they needed something to kind of get them out of the rut. And where they are now is kind of where they've been the last 2 to 3 years. Now, here's the question is, can you continue to ride Dame and CJ, or do they still have a lot more juice left? I mean, it's like these last 4 to 5 years, and I was saying to Q, I feel like Dame has given us some of his best basketball, but he hasn't been able to advance and haven't been able to get to that big stage, and where all of us want to see him get to that big stage. And so where Portland goes from here, I'm not sure, because, right now they may be trending in the wrong direction, and that's kind of down.
It is trending down. 28-13 for Dame Lillard. They've been knocked out of the first round in 4 of the last 5 years. Now we'll go to Michael Malone. Let me say that properly in the postgame.
Hell of a team, division rival. I think Terry Stotts does a great job. What he's been able to do year in and year out with that squad, I think he deserves more credit than he gets. And what can you say about their backcourt? Those guys are fantastic. So, hell of a hard-fought series. A lot of
for the Blazers. I think the key, Mike, was when they were going on runs and we weren't playing our best, every huddle was positive, staying engaged, demanding guys to be better, but staying together. I think we've shown as a group, every time we hit adversity, most times, we never run from it. We buckle down, we embrace it, and we find a way. And so we weathered the storm, to your point, we weathered the storm. And then I thought that fourth quarter, to come in here and win a game 6, an elimination game, which are always so hard, to hold them to 14 points in the fourth quarter, 28% from the field, 0 of 5 from 3, that's how you close out a game. And I thought Monte Morris late, Nikola Jokic late were phenomenal. Michael Porter early was terrific. And Aaron Gordon's corner 3 was a big, big shot. So I love our team. I love every player in our locker room, 1 through 17. We continue to find ways to win. Last year, this year, people don't realize what we're missing right now with injuries. So I couldn't be more proud of a group of players that I truly love coaching every single day.
Michael Spencer, CBS Denver.
Hey, Michael, you said before the game you didn't want to counterpunch, you wanted to punch. Obviously, you touched on MPJ's performance in the first quarter there. How important was that for him to kind of carry you guys in the first?
It was huge. He scored, I think, 22 in that first quarter. Nikola got in foul trouble, and I love seeing Michael so aggressive. If you're a Denver Nuggets fan, and I know we're a big group, we're all over the place. Here's a young man, 26 points, back-to-back games. He's only a second-year player. So Michael's only going to get better than he already is, which is a scary thought. So it was important for Michael to get off that start because he kind of kept us afloat. But that was a hard-fought game, and everybody that played contributed to it. And even the guys, I've said this a lot this series, Will Barton, P.J. Dozier, JaVale McGee, Jamal Murray, those guys, we have to give them a seatbelt. They're so excited and into it and passionate. That's why I love that group, because it's never about me. It's always about the group, the collective unit. And that's why we have a special culture.
Ashley Neville, Mile High Sports.
Hey, Coach, congrats on the win. So exciting. What was the key to stopping Damian Lillard in the fourth quarter? Went 1 for 6 and 5 points. And how important was it to not allow him to get off like he did in Game 5?
Yeah, obviously, Game 5, he was one of the best playoff performances anybody will ever see. He set a record for threes made in the game with 12. I did not see this play, Ashley, but a couple of my coaches said there was a play in the fourth quarter where Dame fell hard, and I believe he might have hit his head. Knowing Damian Lillard, knowing where he's from, watching him work out before him coming into the NBA, he's probably not going to use any excuses. That's not in his nature. That kid is a warrior, and I have the ultimate respect for him. But I think once he hit his head, he really wasn't the same after that. So, yeah, we did a good job, but I don't think he was right after falling down, hitting his head. But obviously he requires a tremendous amount of attention. We gave him the requisite amount of attention, and we were able to pull it out. I thought our fourth quarter offensive execution was terrific. We were poised. We were under control. Monte and Nikola Jokic playing that two-man game. Monte held a pass to Nikola rolling for the N1. It was just a high level of play on both ends. And I think, that's 3 years in a row we've advanced out of the first round, which I don't think has been done in Denver in quite a long time. So I can't wait to get home. I think next round they're going to allow more fans in the arena. So here's my message to Nuggets Nation. Come out, be loud, make Ball Arena the toughest place to play in the NBA. We need you.
Matt Moore, the Action Network.
Michael, Monte's been in the system the whole time, played in the G League. and then obviously just played a huge role in these last two games. Can you speak to what exactly that makes him so ready for these type of moments? Playoff struggles that first year, and then also, at what point did you kind of realize that you could attack more in pick and roll with Monte in that two-man game as the series went on?
Yeah, well, just in regards to Monte, I remember the night we drafted him, towards the end of the second round. And there were a couple of guys that we were talking about. And I remember I had an affinity for Monte Morris because being a former point guard, I loved how he approached the game. He was one of the all-time leaders in assist turnover ratio in NCAA history. He's a floor general. He makes the right play. He doesn't make mistakes. And head coaches love players like that. And as you mentioned, Matt, he goes to the G League. He pays his dues. Second year, he's probably going to be a third-string point guard if Isaiah Thomas is healthy. IT's not healthy for a while, longer than we all expected. And Monte took full advantage of the opportunity, embraced it, and was phenomenal. So I knew the Monte Morris we saw in the first four games was not the Monte Morris that we all expect. And last game, game 5, tonight, game 6, he was aggressive. He was confident. I gave him a big hug, told him how much I loved him. And he said, Coach, just thank you for showing confidence in me. And that reminds me of something I learned from my father a long time ago. The greatest gift I can give any of our players is confidence. That they know I have their back. They're going to go out there and play to the best of their ability. And what Monte has done the last 2 games has been terrific. I just want to add this. I just told that team this. Hell of a win, come in here, win a game 6 on the road is great, but we're not satisfied. Our goal coming into the season was not to get out of the first round. We have much bigger goals. Hopefully we can get a player or 2 healthy moving into the second round. So we're going to enjoy it for a moment, and then we'll be back to work as we try to wait to see who we play next round, whether it's Phoenix or the Lakers.
Jacob Toby, 9 News, Denver.
So it's just, a lot of people may not know about what you guys have gone through. Just what does it say about especially the younger players that are getting so much experience with you guys that they can come in here and win?
Yeah, it's funny you ask that question because, you see all these other teams in the playoffs and a lot is made of guys being out with injuries. Guy's going to miss a game. He's going to miss another game. I mean, Jamal Murray's been out for 24 games now. And look what we've done without a guy that was one of the best players in the bubble last year. Will Barton's, we're down 2 starters. We're down another guy, PJ Dozier, who's one of the first guys off the bench. So what it says about our group is that we're resilient, we're mentally tough, we believe in ourselves, we believe in our teammates. So that's a great feeling. That's not always the case. I've been in this game for a long time. And we're going to need that same resolve moving forward. I'm hoping that we can get a player or 2 back, but if we don't, what a great opportunity. Facu's a rookie. Austin's been around the block, but Monte's still young. Michael's still young. Marcus Howard, we're playing Marcus Howard. He's a 2-way player. Name one other NBA team that's playing 2-way players like him.
I'd just like to say congratulations to Michael Malone and the Denver Nuggets. They outplayed us. They deserved to win the series. They did a great job on both ends of the court. So my hat's off to them. I wish them the well in the next series because they certainly deserve to win the series.
Coach, how do you assess that fourth quarter? It seemed like there was 108, and then you guys couldn't buy a shot. You couldn't get key stops. Does it seem like a complete meltdown? How do you describe it? I
don't know. I kind of tend to stay away from the word meltdown. Sounds a little over the top, but we didn't make some shots. They made some big plays. It was a tight game. Actually, it was the time before that when we had our lead. I thought that was a time where we lost our composure and offensively we got a little stagnant and got them back in the game. But it was 108. Credit to them. They made the plays and we didn't.
You guys missed a lot. CJ Powell missed a lot of pretty close shots. Pretty uncharacteristic for them. How frustrating was that for you and the team?
Look, it's frustrating when it's frustrating losing the game. It's frustrating to lose the lead. It's frustrating, when some things don't work out. I don't know what you want me to say on that. It's when things don't go well, it can be frustrating. Yes.
Christos Saltes, Sport DNA.
Coach, how satisfied you are about your team and the way that you fought in the
Jason Quick, The Athletic.
Yeah, sorry, Terry. You kind of just answered it. This has been such a weird season, so filled with ups and downs. Just what's your overall kind of take on it?
It's been a tough season. It's been up and down. I think a lot of people have talked about this. It's almost like last season and this season were kind of rolled into one long season. Last season was very challenging, and for a lot of different reasons. And then you roll into this season, our expectations were high. And I've said this before, what we were able to do with Nurk missing 35 games and CJ be proud of what we did in the regular season. I know it can be frustrating at times, but when those guys came back, and as I mentioned, at the end of the season, to do what we did was pretty impressive. I think we had been written off, and we weren't, and that showed a lot of character on our guys. But there's no question, it was a challenging season, I think, for every team in the league. A lot of players and coaches have talked about the combination of last season and the bubble and rolling into this season. I think it was a challenge for everybody in the league.
And Terry, considering all of that, just how do you feel about your job security right now?
My job security? I'm under contract for 2 more years. I'm sure, just like at the end of every year, we're all evaluated. Players, coaches, management, we're all evaluated. So we'll see what happens. But, at the end of a season when you lose, everybody's evaluated. When we lost to New Orleans, got swept by New Orleans, we were all evaluated. So we'll see what happens. But all I know is that I'm under contract for 2 more years.
Casey Holdall, Trailblazers.com.
Terry, did you consider challenging the foul on Jokic, the three, and your thought process on not challenging that, I guess?
I did consider it. The reason I didn't was, one, is our coach behind the bench with the replay had video that said that he fouled him, and the other one was Nurk said, I barely touched him. Well, if you barely touch him, that's going to be a foul. So those were the 2 reasons why I didn't.
Dwight James, NBC Sports Northwest.
Terry, reflecting on this season and how things went and everything, what's your first take on what needs to be done in the offseason? What needs to be done to improve this team?
Honestly, Dwight, I'm not avoiding that question, but I think now is a little too early to think about what we have to do for next year. Neil and his staff, there's a lot to go into that. We have free agents. There's a lot that goes into that question. I'm just not prepared to answer it at this point.
Leonardo Torres,
Hi, Coach. It's Leonardo Torres from Peru. Hope you're well. Coach, what are your thoughts on the whole series? I mean, the team compete very well. What do you think was missing to force against them?
Well, I think you have to look at each game. As I mentioned, game 1, game 2, it was good to get a split. Game 3 was 3-point shooting by both teams, our poor 3-point shooting and theirs. We played very well game 4. Obviously, game 5 was a classic. It could have gone either way. Unbelievable game. Proud to be a part of that game. And tonight, for whatever reason, we had a lead and weren't able to close the deal. So it was a very competitive series. Some of the games could have gone either way, but that's the beauty of playoff basketball.
We're going to wrap it there. Thanks for your time, Coach.
All right, thanks, everybody.
Through the ups and downs of this year, how would you describe Damian Lillard's leadership and how it impacted your team even when things might not have been going your way?
He just voted to be the best one. So describe is hard because he do so many things then you can't even describe for just in a human being standpoint. Core, they always, bring us together no matter what is the result of the game. Like I said, it sucks to finish the way we finished, but as far as him, I don't know if I'm ever going to be with a player like that, but it's just, I'm never going to take for granted his friendship and who he is as a player.
Jason Quick, The Athletic.
Nurk, why do you feel like you guys are not advancing?
I don't know, man. I'm pretty much heated. I don't want to, I never in my life, never throw under the bus nobody, so I don't want to point the finger. There's people who look in there and going to answer those questions about me. I think one of the reasons they just, outplayed us. I give them credit. Nuggets, they have a hell of a season. Obviously, the series, they have a hell of a games, and they deserve to go on.
What do you need to do next year to come back better?
I don't know what I need to do. I got a non-guaranteed contract. I don't know if I'm going to be back, right? So I'm going to leave that to Rich Paul, my agent. We'll see what's going to happen. As far as right now, I'm just going to get away from basketball and see, what my next step should be. We'll see what's going to happen. I'm not sure if I'm coming back or what team direction is, and we'll look at that later.
AJ McCord, Coin.
Sure. Thinking about this game in particular and this series, what's the most frustrating part about it ending tonight?
Like I said in the beginning of the year, I wish my role was bigger. I think I could help even more. But, like I said, I was really respectful and tried to do what they asked for me, specifically the coach and what they have for me. Like I said, it's hard. It's hard when you have one of the best player ever to play this game, and sometimes just feel not enough. And I think we are better. I thought we was better team than we are showing. So.
Christos Saltas, Sport DNA.
Yusuf, did you see steps forward from your team this season, and what did you say about the way that you fought in that series, in the whole series?
Like I said, I don't know what future stands for me or for the team in this team. So as far as series, like I said, they outplay us. They definitely deserve to go on in the next round, and sometimes just life it is like that.
James Hill, BNC Sports.
Hey, Nurk, when you look at tonight's game, not the outcome you want, but going forward, it's a lot to be proud about. You guys can come back and continue to compete at the highest level with the greatest players in the world playing basketball, and you have one as your teammate. Just talk about the Blazer way and the mentality going forward.
It's hard, man. It's hard, like I said, this season is probably the most difficult season we ever played as far as COVID and like you said, a lot of ups and downs, a lot of things to be proud. But I think it's really hard to talk about what's future going to stand for anybody. Like I said, my mind, it's my 7th year in the league, and try to be bigger for the team. Any type of role I was accepting from the coach, anybody. But it's really hard for me to speak about the future. It's just all type of feelings going through my head right now. But I'm going to take a couple of days off and talk to my agent, see what's there for, or what's going to be next.
Jamie Hudson, NBC Sports Northwest.
Reflecting on the season, I mean, you mentioned COVID and how difficult it was, and the ups and downs, but obviously the injuries as well. Just how would you describe the season overall?
I think we have a hell of a season as far as a team, where we was and what situation we was, and with CJ and myself going down, I think the team responded really. I think no one expected to respond the way we responded, and how many people step up through the season. I might be the best. This might be the best group of people I've been around as far as teammates. But at the same time, it was not enough. A lot of things it looks like and feels like going to be a change. So that's on people above to do it.
Coming back to Jason Quick with The Athletic.
Eric, you kind of just hit on it, and you've mentioned a lot about your uncertain future and the uncertain future of the team. Did it feel like that in the locker room afterward?
I will not necessarily say in the locker room, but I feel like personally in my head, the way I feel. And like I said, it's, there's still not like a lot of time you're not spending in the locker room to see how, people really feel. But I guess we will know in a few couple of days what's going to really happen, and summer is or whatever, fall, whatever you want to call it, it's going to be interesting to see. But like I said, it's just a bad taste in the mouth. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. But I guess what I'm asking is what gives you that feeling that change is on the horizon.
I mean, what else cannot do it, because we are exit first round with the team we have. Expectations are way bigger than that, and that's the number one reason, and the biggest reason you have to look at the situation what it is. And like I said, it's difficult right now because everybody's probably in a heated spot, and everybody mind's working 1,000-mile hours. But people are gonna be looking at the situation the right way from the colder spot, I guess.
Final questions coming from Mike Richmond with Locked On Sports.
This series, I hit 28 last game, hit 22 this game, 8 for 16. Like, he was playing as if he was one of the starter and key players.
Indeed. Well, the series is over. A 4-2 win for the Denver Nuggets. Nikola Jokic, as I mentioned, 36-8-6, his 4th game, scoring 35 or more in this series. He was magnificent. Michael Porter Jr., he was magnificent in the first. He had ended up with 26. He had 22 in the first. Now let's take a listen to MPJ.
Mike, congratulations. Can you walk us through that first quarter, and what was your mindset going into tonight? Were you trying to be aggressive, and then what did you see as you're just raining in 6 3-pointers in the first quarter?
I mean, my mindset was just I gotta start the game aggressive for my team, because I knew they were gonna come out super aggressive, and I wanted to my mindset was try to weather the storm as much as you can and help your teammates feel confident to make plays themselves, because I knew it was gonna be rough out there. So I mean, I was just shooting, being aggressive, and that's how it went.
Toby, 9 News Denver.
Mike, what does it say about this team with, you yourself as a young player? You got a lot of young players winning in a hostile environment in a Game 6. What does it say about this team?
I mean, we got a lot of dudes who are tough players, man. Like me, I had my moment in the first half, and then, I cooled off. The rest of the game, I don't think I scored. And then, Yoke obviously took over, but then the way Austin and AG had their moments, and then Monte, like J-Mike, we just got a lot of dudes that are capable, very capable, and we're real deep. So it definitely was a total team effort tonight.
Ashley Neville, Mile High Sports.
Hey, Mike, congratulations. So you guys were down pretty much the whole third quarter, and then you guys started to make a run. What was the key to that run and then eventually taking the lead?
Shoot, getting stops, and then Nikola Jokic. I mean, he took over the game when we needed him to. What did he finish with? 36, and I think he started off really slow, so that's pretty amazing. Yeah.
Katie Wingy, Altitude Sports.
Hey Mike, congratulations. Why does this team thrive so much through adversity and through people doubting and counting you guys out, whether it be injury, whether it be other guys or superstars or other teams being talked about more? Why does that fuel you guys so much?
I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say that fuels us. I think we just have such a tight-knit group that doesn't even listen to the noise. I mean, I know dudes like don't even pay attention to it. I don't even think Joker has social media. I don't get on social media. So like we don't really hear some of the noise. So I mean that just helps keep us locked in. I don't even know that people were talking like that, like you just said. And I think the rest of the guys, like we believe in ourselves. We are constantly encouraging each other in the locker room. Man, we did it last year. A lot of people were saying that we couldn't beat, come back from 3-1. We did it twice. So I just think we're used to, having to just believe ourselves.
Kristen Peak, Yahoo Sports.
Hey, Mike. Congratulations on moving to the next round. I just want to know what was coach's message to you guys in the locker room after the win and advancing to the next round?
I mean, his message was pretty much, we ain't done nothing yet. Like, that was a very hard-fought series, but that wasn't our goal to come out the first round. So obviously we were celebrating for a second, but then when we brought it in, we were just like, this isn't what we're here for. This isn't the end goal. So let's get ready for the next series.
Vinny Benedetto, Denver Gazette.
Hey, Michael, I guess what's your mindset either individually or I guess as a team when Nicola's a little bit slow to get going and he picks up his second foul, I think 6 minutes in?
I mean, my mindset was just, we got to pick up the slack. Like the same way he has our back and is taking over games late when he's struggling at the beginning of the game or gets in foul trouble, he has to be able to count on us and we got to come through. So that was our mindset, and I think we weathered the storm pretty well until he got back out there.
James Hill, BNC.
Michael, you come back to the Northwest where you went to high school your senior year. You drop in 26 points, you pull down 5 boards, you dish out 4 assists. It's a victory at Portland, a hostile environment, and the Nuggets move on. Can you just talk a little bit about this game and then just going forward and doing things the Denver way?
I mean, yeah. I think that this game just showed our maturity as a team. Like you said, a hostile environment, a game 6. Which was obviously very important to them, and they have superstars over on that team. Like, they got some of the most clutch players. Damian Lillard was amazing all series, and to close him out on his home floor, like, that just showed our maturity, because that dude is he's one of the best there is. So I'm really proud of our team.
Mike Singer, Denver Post.
Hey, Mike, when Austin hit that three-pointer late, Portland calls timeout. You and Will sprint down to the floor. Can you describe what the bench was like over those final few minutes as it started to set in and you kind of realized the result?
I mean, we was just hyped because we knew that to us going into this game, it was like a game 7 because nobody's trying to see Damian Lillard, one of the clutchest players ever, like Game 7. We knew like we had to come out here and be the aggressors. We didn't want to go to a Game 7. We wanted to finish it tonight. So that was our mindset. We knew Game 4. I think it was Game 4 after we had won Game 3. We played Game 4 and they blew us out on their home court. So we knew if we come out lackadaisical, we're very capable of getting blown out, like what happened in that game. So we just had a different mindset tonight.
Joel Rush, Forbes.
Hey Mike, congratulations. Just thinking about your first playoff experience in the bubble, comparing it to this one, you played a lot more significant of a role this time. And is there anything you can point to as something that you've learned from this experience that you didn't learn that first time around in the bubble?
I mean, it's different. Obviously, when fans are in the crowd, it definitely brings a different element to the game. You gotta be poised and confident under pressure because it's definitely different, especially in these hostile environments. But other than that, man, I'm just trying to keep growing on and off the court. All of this is a learning experience for me. So I'm just trying to get better and better as time goes and soak it all in and enjoy it.
All right, Mike, we got time for one more. We're going to end with Katie Wingy from Altitude Sports.
Quick two-parter for you here, Mike. The last 2 games from Monte, how did he take his game to the next level, and how did that help you guys? And then tonight, the minutes that JaMychal Green gave, what did you see from him?
I mean, Monte, like that dude, the last 2 games, the way he's come up in the clutch in the fourth quarter, been so huge for us. Like I can't say enough about that dude. Just his composure, what he does for our team is pretty amazing. Especially being a backup point guard his whole life. Like he's stepping up on the biggest stage and showing what he's capable of. And then JaMychal, you know, he the way he brought us home, getting those rebounds, you know, being aggressive. Like I told Coach, I think I came out with 5-6 minutes left and I saw what he was doing out there. I was like, man, let him rock. Let J-Mike do, just because I saw